Hello, welcome back to Ask Allison. Here's today's question. I've been in private practice treating individual women with trauma for 10 years, but I'm getting bored and feeling like I'd like to change it up and try out couples therapy after getting some training and supervision. If and when I start adding this to my practice, can I add a page on couples counseling since I've worked so hard at SEO? Or do you recommend starting an entirely new website and building up that niche from scratch? How can I talk about having two niches with other providers without confusing them? Thanks. So before I answer this, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes for sponsoring Ask Allison. I know they're features by heart by now. You probably do too if you listen a lot. But I want to talk about what really sets them apart. And that's that they genuinely care about your experience. It's not just about troubleshooting. They actively implement user-suggested features. Everyone at TherapyNotes believes in the product and they want you to love it too. Plus, they're independently owned, which means no venture capital, no pressure to prioritize investors over customers. That independence allows them to keep their prices fair, to focus on innovation, and to prioritize the customer experience. With over 100,000 therapists already on board, they've proven that you don't have to compromise success for quality. If you're ready to see for yourself, try TherapyNotes free for 2 months with code ABUNDANT at therapynotes.com. So, I love that you're switching it up to keep things interesting. I hope that other people listening or watching this know that you are not stuck with your niche, with your modality, with your services. Couples counseling isn't as much of a niche as it is a service. I want to know who your niche is within couples counseling. So if your couples niche includes someone in the relationship who has experienced trauma, which is a lot of couples, then your current website could be absolutely amazing. Of all the women that you've worked with over the last decade, how many of them were in couples counseling or would have benefited from couples counseling? Likely many of them, right? So it depends on your ideal balance of couples to individual sessions. I see 4 scenarios. Okay. If your ideal couple is impacted by trauma and you want to do primarily one-on-one still with couples kind of sprinkled in, that's about as easy as it gets. You can keep your current site and SEO and write up your couples page and SEO that as well. You can sprinkle in mentions of couples counseling on your homepage with a link to that new service page. While networking, you can talk about how you provide individual and couples counseling for women impacted by trauma. Easy. If your ideal client is impacted by trauma and you want to do primarily couples counseling, make your homepage about couples, the dynamics that happen when there has been some trauma. You don't have to mess with any established SEO. You may be able to keep the same headers, for example, but talk primarily about couples on your homepage. Have a specialty page for individual counseling, a specialty page for couples. Mention both on the homepage. Start blogging about how trauma impacts couples. Keep your old blogs and SEO, just add new ones specific to couples. While you're networking, emphasize that you see couples impacted by trauma. You'll likely continue to get individual referrals because that's what you've known for so long. To bolster your couples numbers, only talk about couples while you're networking. Now, if your couples work as much of a departure from trauma as you can get, and you just want to sprinkle some in, I would consider a specialty page or a separate site. You don't have to trash your old site if you're holding on to women with trauma as your primary population. But know that if it's a specialty page on your trauma website, you're likely going to get couples with some trauma. You can downplay that on the specialty page, maybe talking about, say, communication problems in couples, if that's your couples niche. But if you build another website for this niche specifically, this new couples niche, be really strategic about who you share that site with. Share it with your therapist friends who don't see couples. Share it with couples counselors who work with communication issues and are full. Create a new online listing like Psychology Today specific to couples. So that is if you really want to stick with your individuals primarily and your couples are not trauma related. Now, if you want to go whole hog with your non-trauma couples niche and make it the majority of your practice, I would transition your current site. I'd switch up the homepage. I'd make your specialty pages very couple-centric. Don't delete any blogs or anything, but do start blogging exclusively about what your new ideal clients care about. Do some SEO magic on those blogs. Network your tail off exclusively about couples. Even if you only market couples, you're still going to get individual trauma clients because you've built on that for a decade. So you can decide the percentage you want from each. If you feel kind of full up on those individual clients, you can just refer them out. It's totally fine. So For those of you who are full and you're wanting to make changes like this in your practice, our Limitless Practice program helps you make those changes. Whether it's like switching niches or establishing a niche if you haven't had one. It also can help you get off insurance or increase your private pay rate. Our Limitless grads are working less, they're making more than before the program. So message me Limitless if you want to chat about that. Today's free worksheet is the niche versus ideal client sheet. It's going to help you get more specific so that your marketing is much, much easier. Message me the word sheets and I will send it your way. All right. I hope that that's helpful. Have a really great day.